said that could never do. They'll never understand. But it's for them that we fight the Hellgast. It's for their safety that we do things we can never tell them about. I can hear them. The cries of the millions murdered by the Hellgast. Their screams echo through the years, so that we never forget. So that we remember why we're here, and why it's us who must do so awful a thing. We do not desire blood, but if blood is to be spilled, then let it be that of our enemies. Everybody speaks of peace as if it were the easiest thing in the world to achieve. But few understand what peace demands, and fewer still are willing to do what must be done in order to achieve it. Peace is not white doves and handshakes. It is bodies and bullets and the will to withstand both. The Hellgast are a reflection of the darkness that lies in every one of us. The physical manifestation of anger and hate that taints our souls. They're a warning to all of what we will become if we're not vigilant in upholding the virtue of our people. I understand why people want to forget their pain. The loved ones we've lost, the countless innocents slaughtered by the Hellgast. It's simply much easier to forget than to remember. But we must remember. We must never forget what the Hellgast have done and will do again if given the chance. We must never forget. For too long we've ignored the Hellgast threat. We are by nature a peace-loving people and had hoped that given time the Hellgast would come to accept our offers of friendship and support. But time has only fanned the flames of their hatred. Unchecked, this fire will spread uncontrolled through the universe. But we ignore them no longer. Their path of destruction stops here. The Helgen people are not our enemy. We bear no malice or ill will towards them. But let it be known that as their leaders draw them into a conflict of their own making, we will not hesitate to do what we must do to protect our own people. If the Hellgast insist on fighting, then we'll show them the same mercy that they show to others. We'll show them none. Today is one like no other. Who you were yesterday doesn't matter, because today you are an ISA soldier. Today you are all that stands between peace and anarchy. But for you, the Hellgast will march across the galaxy and leave nothing but pain and suffering in their wake. The balance of power rests on your shoulders. Yours can handle the weight. We're not a perfect people, but then we've never claimed to be. We're simply human, compassionate, selfish, flawed. We've made mistakes. What matters most is how we deal with those mistakes. Allowing the Hellgast to flourish unchecked was a mistake, one that we intend to rectify. The Hellgast rhetoric is getting old. They claim to be victims. They paint the ISA and UCN as aggressors, while simultaneously amassing their own forces and developing weapons of demonstrable power. The only victim here are the people of Helgen, held hostage by a government that cares more for its own agenda than the well-being of its people. To the people of Helgen, I say this: the time of your freedom is at hand. And to the leaders, make no mistake, we're coming for you. The shadow of tyranny stretches towards us once more. And if we don't act, it will swallow each and every one of us and unleash upon the world a misery unlike anything we've seen before. Knowing this, our course is clear. We need do nothing but take it. Sometimes reason alone isn't enough. And at times like this, when we stand before the boiling storm, weapon in hand, friends at our side, we can each one of us do nothing but say, I'm ready. You will not pass by me. The path of good and evil is one and the same. And though it's one all men must walk, let no man claim he's unable to find his way. For each of us, the path is clear as day. The choice is merely how he decides to walk it. Yours is the birthright of every victim. history of the Hellcast is one seeped in light. Their religion is war and death. They won't rest until the universe lies in ruins and they alone stand atop the rubble that's left. You're not fighting for your lives, or even fighting for others. You're fighting for our very existence. History remembers the few. Those few who stand against unimaginable odds. Those few who refuse to surrender even in the face of certain annihilation. Those brave few who stand when all others would bow down. History remembers. Your deeds this day will outlive us all. History isn't written, it's lived. Lived by ordinary people. People who in the face of such terrible odds as the ones you now face put aside their fears and their petty squabbles and stand together and to the enemy say, "We will go no further." The Hellcast are programmed to hate, murder without thought or remorse. No sensible person yearns for war, but the Hellcast have long since proven themselves to be neither sensible nor people. They're hollow creatures filled with hate, anger, and cruelty. Faced with such a foe, we're left with a simple choice. Put them down or die. And I, for one, will not die. Every generation is faced with the question, what would you do to protect your children? How far would you go to ensure their safety, to ensure they grow up in a world free from sorrow and tragedy? I think the better question is, what wouldn't you do? Enough. As every man has his limits, so too does a nation. And as a nation, we can no longer stand by as the Hellcast so brazenly defy the laws of civil society. They call us liars to our faces, and yet hide their own behind the mask of deceit and treachery. I am a man of my word, and this I promise. We will stop the Hellcast by whatever means necessary. Politicians clamor for peace, but they don't know the cost of what they ask for. Peace cannot be achieved without war. We fight now so that our children will never have to. What's the price of freedom? Your values? Your very soul? I say, does it matter? Freedom demands sacrifice. It's doing what must be done no matter what the cost to ourselves. And that sacrifice is a burden we gladly bear to spare those around us from having to. Freedom, hope, liberty, these aren't words. These are the very ideals that destruction.